Okay, wait, hold up, here's the deal. I'm recording this a day earlier than usual because right after I'm done filming, I'm flying down to LA to see Zlatan take on Carlos Vela in the LA Derby. El Tráfico, LAFC versus the LA Galaxy, and I'm bringing two of my closest friends with me, and I'm gonna vlog the experience so you can see what these amazing LAFC supporters are all about. It should be amazing. I just said that because I'm really excited, and I can't wait, and it's gonna be awesome. Yeah! But before we get to that, let's get to this. It's previews and predictions, and I'm gonna whip us through all the games that you should be watching this weekend, and we're gonna start with me apologizing that I haven't picked winners yet for the dope-ass Warm Baller stickers, like these, for the last two previews and predictions. I don't know. I don't remember. Well, I do remember, but then I don't remember until I start filming this one. I'm like, yeah, I gotta pick some winners. So I'll make that happen in the next one next week, which will include the winners from this week. I promise. Anyway, now let's get to the first must-see game this weekend, and it's a London derby, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Because Arsenal might have a different manager now, but it's still more of the same, you know, where we can see all their potential based on the talent that they have in their squad, but they can't figure out how to maximize that talent. And it's frustrating, and I'm not even an Arsenal fan. And as an example, they were on full display, all of this non-maximized talent when they lost 1-0 to Sheffield United last week. And that's a big yikes. Whereas in contrast, Crystal Palace know exactly who they are and what they have to do to get points, and that's fight and scrap for everything, especially when their best player, Wilfried Zaha, hasn't scored once in their first 9 league games, and yet they're still in 6th on 14 points, only 1 point behind Arsenal. So I think this one is gonna be a real banger, and I think Palace will come away with something because that's what they do, much to Arsenal's chagrin. 1-1. And up next, we have to make some time for one of the fiercest rivalries in the Bundesliga, the Revier Derby between Schalke and Borussia Dortmund, because if both teams really want to truly compete for the league title, and even to finish in the top 4, which is gonna be tough, because the Bundesliga is very competitive right after Bayern Munich. They have to win games. They have to get the full 3 points every single time that they step on the field. That's the only way that they're going to be able to hang with a Bayern Munich or an RB Leipzig or the surprising Wolfsburg, who are doing bits this season. And I see you, Wolfsburg. Nice job. And of course, Borussia Mönchengladbach, who we talked about last week. So I love that there's this much at stake this early into the Bundesliga campaign. Also, I'll take Dortmund 3-2 in this one. And then people, it's Le Classique, the biggest derby in France, and it's all popping off this weekend. PSG versus Marseille. And because Marseille were so kind to send me an official jersey with Conradinho number 10 on the back, which, as you know, is the quickest way to my heart. I want them to win. They're my new French club. Also, since Marseille haven't beaten PSG since 2011, and I'm gonna do the quick math for you, 2019 minus, it's been 8 years. That's a long time. So it would be nice to see them make this a proper rivalry again by beating PSG. And since they haven't had me in their corner during that time, I truly believe that I'm gonna make the difference for Marseille. I'm gonna be their good luck charm. So based on that logic, I'm going with Marseille 3, PSG 0. Okay, that's me picking with my heart. My brain says, is Mbappe healthy? Is Neymar healthy? Cavani? Can Mandanda, the goalkeeper for Marseille, grow a third arm to help make saves? Because this could be a long game. And then set your alarms for Roma versus AC Milan because, let's be honest with ourselves, both clubs, who both started the season with new managers, are playing below what we know they're capable of. Now, Roma's lack of consistency, of course, is mainly due to injury. Otherwise, they definitely would be competing for the Scudetto. Or at least that's what I tell myself, since I'm a Roma supporter. Roma, Roma, Roma. Whereas with Milan, well, they're back to being a dumpster fire. They already fired their new manager and hired a new one. They can't figure out who their best 11 is and what formation they should play. And what is their plan in the transfer market again? Do they have one? Do they even have an identity anymore? I don't even recognize these Milan teams from the teams in the past, which is sad to say out loud. Anyway, as much as I think new manager Stefano Pioli will help eventually, it won't be this weekend. I got Roma winning this 2-1. And then after a crazy first 2 months of La Liga, which has seen 5 different clubs be on top of the table over that time span, and which continues to see some crazy names near the top, like recently promoted Granada and Real Sociedad, well, it's now starting to settle into what we expect as Barcelona and Real Madrid occupy the top 2 spots. And with El Clásico being postponed this weekend, which is a shame given that they're number 1 and number 2 and both playing pretty well at the moment, I got my eyes on Atletico Madrid versus Athletic instead because both of these clubs started really hot, but have since faded pretty hard. Atleti are in 7th and Athletic are in 10th, but they were both first at some point during the season. And the big reason why they're struggling is that they can't score. Atleti have only scored 3 goals in their last 6 games. And now with their superstar in the making, Joao Felix, out with an ankle injury, that issue probably won't be resolved anytime soon. While Athletic have only scored 2 goals in their last 4 games, which means this is probably going to be a 0-0. Nobody would be surprised by that. However, Atleti are superb at winning games 1-0 because that's what they do. And I think they're going to do it again. And now listen up, suckers. You have to carve out 90 minutes of your weekend to watch the biggest derby in Holland, the Clásico. Ajax versus Feyenoord. Mainly because these two very successful Dutch clubs have grown to hate each other ever since this derby started 98 years ago. And this history of disdain is on full display even today, and even with the youngest of players in the squad, because they've been well versed in making sure that they don't like each other. But after the first 10 games of this season, Ajax are on top with a plus 24 goal differential and 0 losses, while Feyenoord are in 10th with a plus 1 goal differential, 2 losses, and already with no chance of competing for the league title. So maybe winning this can salvage their poor start? I don't know. I feel like I'm reaching here because Ajax are so good, especially at home. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 to Ajax. And now if you can find a stream for this, try to make some time for the Sydney derby between the Western Sydney Wanderers and Sydney FC, which will be the first time this derby will be played in the Wanderers' brand new stadium. And with 30,000 fans cheering them on, I'd like to think that they have an advantage, but Sydney FC are the defending A-League champions for a reason, so they of course are going to be up for this. I'm going to say, wait for it, 2-2. And then all the 4 top teams in Scotland, I'm talking Celtic, Rangers, Motherwell, and Aberdeen, all play against each other this weekend. And given how this league usually goes, which is with Celtic winning, this weekend could prove vital to the title race if 4th place Aberdeen can do the business at home against 1st place Celtic, and 2nd place Rangers can beat 3rd place Motherwell at Ibrox. Then maybe, just maybe, the Scottish Premiership will be exciting this season. But let's be honest, that's a strong maybe, because the one and only mighty Celtic always seem to find a way to win the league by 10 points. And finally, I'll be watching the MLS playoffs, but I just don't know who is going to play who yet. But I do know it's going to be good, because all of these playoff games have been superb. Anyway, that is it. That is all I got. So pick the right score for Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. And if you get it exactly right, you'll be entered to win some Warm Baller stickers. Yeah, the dope-ass ones. And I'll pick 5 winners like always. So good luck. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you soon. Later.